Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and this is Let It Be Budgets. If you're new here, I'm a retired nurse on a fixed income. I'm married. My husband is a small business owner and he gets a varied income. And we use a modified version of a cash envelope budgeting system. By modified, I mean all of our fixed expenses stay in the bank, as well as my annual and biannual sinking funds. I have a bucket for those. So other than that, all of our varied income and our savings and other sinking funds we keep in cash envelopes. Today I'm going to be doing my September budget with me and my cash planning. So I use a clipboard for everything. So my budget stays on a clipboard. This is how I work for many, many years. We didn't work with computer when I worked initially until the end of when I was working. And so we kept everything on a clipboard, and that's kind of what I'm used to. So that's what I've carried over to do my budgeting, to maintain my budgeting. And then I have my file system, and each month these go into a file. That way I can keep a record of all my budgeting. If I have any questions, I can go back and check it. So I use a calendar. This is my quick glance at everything, and I write out my budget for a month. Because of the way that we're paid, it's too difficult to try to do a weekly budget because we don't necessarily get paid weekly. So I do a monthly budget based on like the lowest of what my husband will bring in a month plus my income. So I'm going to go ahead and start this on my calendar. I note my fixed expenses. I also note if I have any annual or biannual expenses coming out. I put those in the notes. And if anything is, if we need to add anything or change anything, or if anything new comes up, I'll put it in the notes on the bottom of my calendar. And I'll just keep track of when they're done, and that way it's documented. So I'm content with that. And then on the side, I just take a piece of paper from trimming challenges or whatever, and I keep a running track of what's in my checking account. I don't keep a running check. I have a system that I use for my savings and my sinking funds on how I monitor those, but this is just on my checking account, and my checking account is just basically there for my fixed income. I mean my fixed expenses. Another thing I note is when I do a spend, because I kind of am just monitoring my spending. So if I have a date that I spend anything extra, I usually put like a green spot on there. And for when I get paid, I only know one that I'm getting paid, and that's mine, and I get paid on the third Wednesday of every month. And it should be like $15.60. I don't, this is what it was. So I think that that's where I'm going to be staying. No, $15.46, sorry. I'm going to fix that. I was at, yep. I'm just going to make it $15.40. I think that, because I pay insurance comes out of this, so it got changed recently, and I didn't know if it was going to continue to stay fluctuating or not. So what I did is just put my numbers in. 1 through 30, because we have 30 days this month. My calendar that I like to work off is Sunday to Saturday is my week. So in the first of the month, I pay my mortgage. So I'm going to write it down for on the 1st, but that's not when it'll come out probably. Mortgage. My credit card. My water comes out the 1st of the month. AM funds comes out the 1st of the month. Golden Rule comes out the 1st of the month. So that's all that comes out. Those are the fixed expenses that come out to the 1st of the month. Every other month I pay my sewer bill. I'm going to put that as one of these. So I have hospital in the second half of the month, my sewer, my car, I have electric, gas, my phone, I have Washington National, I have Kinetic, and I have NGL. Yep, that's it. These are our fixed expenses for this month. I pay my bills except for those that come out on automatic withdrawal out of my account. I pay them in the first week of the month and then on the third week of the month, generally. So I don't do them on it like when they're due daily. I just don't do that. When I have an income, I highlight it with the pink. Right now I'm using pink until I'm for this time. I've been using pink since I started, so. But these are my expenses. I have a calendar that I keep by me, like in the living room or whatever, that if I have like doctor's appointments and etc. on, I'll write them on that. I don't keep, this is just my financial. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one up. Oh, I also keep a record of what I have for, I just have this little calendar I found it online. And all it is for the 12 months, and all I do is write down what I have coming out for each month. So that this is just a quick reference. I can come in here and say, okay, I have like car insurance coming out this month. So I'll know to put it on my note list so that I can remember to pay it when it's due. So now for September, we don't have anything pending, so. All right, I'll do this in a minute. I'm gonna fill these out. I have a couple things that I do first, and I'm just gonna fill them out. So when I started budgeting last April, because I had never really done any kind of formal budgeting prior to then, and I found that I did an expense tracker to see where I was at, and this helped me greatly, and I continue it, and I do an I write down all my spending for the month, and that way I can keep track of what I need, because I use sinking funds, and I have variable expenses that I do, and if I need to adjust those, this will tell me. So this is my expense tracker for September. On my expense tracker, I always write down, I don't know if I can't remember if I'm done with my QVC, because I bought shoes on QVC, and this was my third payment, I think. Yeah, that was my second payment. So I have one more payment on that one, so I'll know I'll have this should be my third payment. So this should be the last payment for that. I also have ink that's I think it's $6. Let me write this down because I'll forget it. Yeah, ink is $6 a month, and it's automatic withdrawn from my credit card. And Netflix is $9 a month, and it's automatically withdrawn from my credit card. So these three here, I'm going to highlight with my green highlighter. This just indicates to me that these are from my credit card. None of, I take this from my miscellaneous money that I allot for us for the month. This comes out of it, because these are not necessities, they're wants. So I want to keep it in like miscellaneous, that I'm not doing it like a bill, because I don't look at it like a bill. It's a want, and if I want it, I'm going to pay for it. So I don't have to pay for it. I want to. So, sounds weird, but it ticks in my brain. I also keep track of my variable expenses, like my groceries, my pet, my gas, miscellaneous, and eating out. And so this is for September 2025. I like this. We budget $700 a month for groceries, $50 a month for pet, $120 a month for gas. We budget $220 a month for miscellaneous, and $200 a month for eating out. Now, eating out, I don't know if I'm going to keep any rollover from this or not. I was keeping it, and it messed up my count on what I had. I have to think about how I'm going to do this yet. So I'm just going to leave it like this. And then we just kind of monitor what I spent each week, and what is left over to roll over to the next week. And this helps me monitor whether I need to adjust how much I'm saving, out each month to pay for these expenses. So that one's done. So now I can go ahead and start on my budget. So my budget, this is a monthly budget, and this will be for September 2025. So first thing is, I almost always have a rollover. Because we work on a varied income, and I try to assign my monies a job. I like that idea. So I try to assign most of our monies a job, but depending on how my husband gets paid, I can't do everything like on a weekly regimen and schedule, so I'm bound to have a rollover each month. So that'll go here, and then I just allot for 2 checks for my husband, and then mine, and that'd be $15.40. I'll just write that down. So, and that's what I do, and then I'll fill them in as the month goes along on what we actually get. So my first fixed expense is my mortgage. And that's $778 per month, and that pays, that has my escrow, my insurance, and my property taxes are included in that. And then I have AM funds, water. I kind of go along with, oh, where did I put it? I kind of follow along with my calendar. And so I have Golden Rule. Oh, yep, Golden Rule. Margaret City Water. Okay, and then we'll go down to hospital. The sewer is this month because it's every other month. My Honda. My electric. My gas. My phone. Washington National. My Kinetic. That's my Wi-Fi. And my NCLIC. And then over here, this is my city card for my debt. Because I try to make 2 payments a month. One in the beginning of the month and one in the middle of the month. So this is my beginning of the month payment, and then my second payment in the month here. So my first is my spending, and this I keep track of what I spend per month, and whatever I spend, I take it out of whatever category it needs to come out of, and it'll go into my back to the bank envelope, and it'll go back to the bank and go in for payment on the credit card. And then I pay my regular payment, and then this is my extra payment. Generally I pay $100 the first part of the month, but then again it just depends on how my husband's paid. So but that's how I set that up. And so I'm going to write down my costs here real quick. I'm going to take them from this one. So my AM is $50 per month. My water, I say 40. It was 37 last month. It varies, so I figure I'm safe at saying 40. My Golden Rule is 51. My hospital is 35. My sewer, generally, I think it was around $60 last month. Not last month, but the month before. So I'm just going to put 60 down. $397 for my car payment. My electric was $96. But I kind of allot $125 because it's the way the air conditioning and stuff has been run. So, and we were having heat for quite a bit. So I'm going to keep it up there just a little bit to compensate if for a fluctuation in what our regular bill is. My gas bill should be $84 this month, and that's on a budget. I was having to, for 3 times, I had to pay 111 because were over budget for the year, and so we caught up with that. My phone usually runs around 120 per month. Washington National runs $82 per month. My Kinetic is $84 per month. And my NCL is $99 per month. So these are our bills for the month. My variable expenses are groceries, pet, gas, miscellaneous, eating out, and I have a personal, and I have hubs. So my groceries, we budget $700 per month. My pet is $50 per month. I have one kitty. She's like 20 years old and she doesn't require a whole lot. She's she's kind of set in her ways. She's an old lady. My gas is $120 per month. My miscellaneous is $220 per month. My eating out is $200 per month. My personal is $65 a month, and that's for me. And my husband gets $80 per month for spending. So these here, okay, I can't. And this one stays the same. So I'll add these up when you're not, you don't have to go through that with me. This, I usually run around $1,400 for my variable expenses. Now my sinking funds, my account 2, I call it account 2. I don't know why, that's just my thing. And that is my yearly and my biannual sinking funds, and I save $152 per month for those. And those are in a bucket in my bank. I just transfer that money right over there. And then I have escrow, which is $80 per month that I save. My car maintenance, I save $50 per month. My house maintenance, I save $50 per month. My health, I save $50 per month, and this may be changing. My DEXA scan was really bad. I have osteoporosis, and the level had risen or decreased, whatever, on the scan, and my doctor's trying to get me a new medication, and these medicines are so expensive. So we're seeing whatever my insurance will help cover. So I'm not going to find that out for a bit. But like this health here, I do this mostly for like the cost of my supplements, medications, whatever. And my co-pays for my doctor. So this may be going up with the medication. I'm just have to wait and see. And then I have emergency. Is $50 a month. So these are my basic sinking funds, other than that I save for on a monthly basis. And then I have my hobbies. And I save $20 per month for hobbies. I have giving. I save $50 per month for giving. No, I don't. I think I'm saving $40 per month for that, because I changed it. Okay. So I'm saving $40 per month for giving. Okay. Christmas. I do $50 per month for Christmas. My 1 month ahead, I save $108 per month for that. Yes. Save with Judy. That's a game I play on Sundays. And that money goes into my 1 month ahead and goes into my randomizing as if there's any left over from my 1 month ahead. And that is $80 per month. And my savings, this is just general savings. I save $312 per month. And then if I can add more to that, I will. So far I haven't been able to, but I'm hoping that I can. So, okay. So this essentially is my my budget. And I'll just go through and add it up. And then I kind of figure, I base this on what my husband, the lowest amount that my husband would probably bring in, which I figure the lowest amount he's going to bring in will be around $3,500. And then I'll go through here. If I need to adjust these sinking funds and such, I'll do that. I have no question on doing that. But hopefully I don't have to. And then at the end of the month when I close out, I'll see how I did with what I wanted. So we got that. So the next thing I do, I'm going to work on my cash planning. So this is my cash planning for September. If I can smell, I would do good. And this is my first one. I do 2 pages, one for the beginning and one for the middle of the month. $20.25, and this is 2. Because they're just a little bit different. Because I try to do my cash stuffing every 2 weeks. I don't cash stuff once a month. I cash stuff every 2 weeks. If I can't, then I break it down and do it weekly, depending on how my husband is paid. But usually I can do it every 2 weeks. But this gives me room to be able to make changes if I need to. And I do need to at times, so. But this helps me helps me work down my, what I need for my budgeting here. So I'm going to do my first one, and that's groceries. Is $350 every 2 weeks. My pet, I do $25 every 2 weeks. My gas, I do $60 every 2 weeks. And I break down my cash that I use, because I do stuff my envelopes and I do challenges and things. I make sure I have the monies, the denominations that I need. So in my groceries, I do 3 100s and 150. I do in my pet, I do 2 10s and 1 5. In my gas, I do 2 20s and 2 10s. And miscellaneous, I have $110 every 2 weeks, and I get 150. I get 3 20s. And then we'll go down to eating out. I'm going to bring this up here. And that's $200 a month, and I get That's not 200. All right, here. This is $100 every 2 weeks for this one. And I usually grab about 250s. And then I have my personal. It's out of my first part of my, the first part of the month, I save out $25 to that. Hubs gets $40. My personal, I just do 2 10s and a 5. And my Hubs gets 2 20s. And my buffer, this is just, I don't know why I do it, I just do it. I hit $5 a week for my buffer, and I just put a $5 bill in there. And then my 1 month ahead, I get $54, and I do 54 ones. With my Save with Judy, I get $40, and I get 2 10s, 2 5s, and 10 ones. My giving is $20 every 2 weeks, and I get 4 5s. My hobbies is $10 every 2 weeks, and I just take a 10 for that one and keep it in my envelope. My minis are my 4 basic sinking funds that are the $550 per month, and that's equivalent for my minis per 2 weeks is $100, and that's 2 20s, 2 10s, and 8 5s. My Christmas comes out of my first cash for the first part of the month, and that's $50. That comes out for that, and I have 2 10s, 4 5s, and 10 ones. For escrow, that is $40 every 2 weeks, and that is 8 5s. My savings is $156 every 2 weeks, and I get 2 10s, 24 5s, and 16 ones. And that's it for that. And so what I do, I just put this here. If I need to add anything, I can add it. But when I go to get my money from the bank, all I do is go through and add and place the amount that I need down here of each bill. If I need to make changes, I can make changes on here. I have my room. But this is essentially what I do, and then I do one for the second part of the month from the from when I get paid down to the end of the month. So this is what my cash planning looks like. This works for me. I go through when I do my cash stuffing, and I check off and make sure I get everything. So, okay, this is my budget with me and my cash planning. You guys have a great day. I should be back on Thursday for my game day. Okay, bye-bye now.